online. Heard me again, right? Yes, please. So good morning, everyone. It's great to have you guys here. Our speaker for today is on his way. He'll be here maybe in about 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to just use this to do some house cleaning, as we say. So first and foremost, could we please all move forward? The reason why we ask is so that we can fill the process, because we are recording, right? And all we can see the camera is behind, so it's best if we're in front and then online guys, good to see you, lovers. Good to see you, Hawa. We're waiting and hoping that quite a number of people will join us online as well. So quickly just going to use this time to do a little bit of house cleaning. Just want to find out, both on-site and online, how many of us have been able to finish our first module just yet? That's the online entrepreneurial or e-learning module, sorry. Has anyone been able to finish yet? And have you been able to get a certificate? Sorry, sir. You are the fourth one. You've done 1, 2. Amazing. Amazing. Please, could we? I'd like us to appreciate that. That's amazing. Congratulations. That's good. Have you gotten your certificates yet? Have you unlocked them? Okay. You're supposed to. So when you finish each module, you'll see there's supposed to be like 2 boxes. You have unlock yourself. So once you click that and fill the online survey, they will send your certificates to you. So you can have, I think one other person told me she's been able to get her certificate or she's about to print it out today or so. That's really the essence of all this. If you're able to finish and then you get your certification from the British Council, like I say, it positions you for a lot of stuff with them, grants and all that. Right. So it gives you that certification and all that. So you already have that in place. All the other things we are giving is for your own personal businesses, and I hope you've been getting a lot for yourself. If you were not here yesterday, I hope you're able to go online and get the materials. Yesterday was really insightful for those who were in-house, because I think we really did go deep as to how to structure your business. It's really so important. So you now realize that you probably are doing a lot of things, you're just not doing them so well. And you need a little, some guidance, so to speak. I think for some of the people who were on site and who were able to discuss their businesses, I think people like Jonathan, you got a bit of insight as to what you were doing, what you should be doing, how to do it properly, which we hope will give value to you and help you grow in the creative ecosystem here. So while we're waiting for Dr. Phillips to come, and all our friends online are also, as it were, joining. I think we have about 7 people online now. We're hoping that as we wait for Dr. Phillips to come, we will quickly look at ourselves. What are we doing online-wise? Are we getting certifications? Are we really aspiring to get those certifications? Are we working towards it? Do you have any challenges, both online and on-site? Do you have any challenges with going through the modules? Some people have reached out to me. Some of them had a few challenges. Some videos wouldn't play, or some of the videos were a bit long, and if you stopped somewhere, you had to start again. Some people, I think the internet connectivity was an issue for them as well. But by and large, I think it's been much of a success. If have people who are all, module 4, that's really amazing. That's like practically running the entire course. We are almost done with it, and it really positions you for what it is, whatever the British Council has out there for you, helps you for, I mean, in terms of opportunities for collaborations, looking for grants from them, like we say, and even within the local ecosystem as well. For those of us who are attending this cohort, I said I was going to unveil some things, at the end of this particular meet. And I don't know if it's something we're going to wait for or up until Dr. Phillips is done, or something we can talk about now. But by and large, I think one of the things we'll be giving away is that one of our partners here in Abuja, right? Suburban Telecoms, arguably, I think about the best internet provider locally now in the ecosystem in Abuja. So they do fiber and all that. So their speed is like exceptional. They have a subset of that, Suburbans. They are the guys behind Legend. So and all. So they have a product. They have what's called Suburban Cloud, and what they are doing is what they've offered people who are attending this training, because you are attending through Kavik, is that they will do a lot of hosting for you free of charge. So if, for instance, you have a website, or you want to launch a website and you did a back end for that, they will do it for you free of charge. You have a profile you want to put online and you need like some hosting right, domain or something, they will be doing all that for you free of charge. So for any young business, it's really something you want to grab. So you're not wasting a lot of money trying to, as it were, launch your site if you don't already have one, pay for all those things. And I think there's a process to which it works. You need to go to Suburban's Cloud, I think, or is it suburbans.org? We'll put the details on the WhatsApp group to help those who are on site and those who are online as well to access it. And for those who are online, I think you can access it from anywhere. So it's not necessarily just for the people in the local ecosystem. No, you can really access it from anywhere. And the idea is that when you go there, they will ask, I think, for, is it a password or a payment? And there you will just put in the word Kavik, which shows that you're from Kavik or you're from this cohort. And then they will grant you access to their products. But like I said, we'll be sharing the details of it completely in the, what's it called now? In the WhatsApp group. So you really want to be, if you're online, you want to be part of that group as well, because beyond that, there are also other opportunities that we're already sharing or that we will be sharing. I think it was the first cohort, there's a residency that is an art residency that has opened and that is available for artists. And it's in collaboration with, I think, the University of Manchester also, if I remember. So we'll also be putting it on that platform so that you can, it's from the British Council, so you can apply as well. So that's that for that. There's also, if you are in Abuja, right? There's what we call the Abuja Enterprise Agency, right? Which is the Abuja arm of, or the government arm that deals with creatives in the FCT, right? They have a program, they've reached out to us, and some of their officials were to come in and actually speak to us, but I really don't know if that's going to happen now. So I'm just going to share the details with you people. They have a program that they do that is like an entrepreneurship course. It's very short. And initially they had a price tag for it for about 10,000 naira. But they are reducing the cost of that because they want a lot of people to be involved. Now, what happens is that if you attend and you do that, attend that program or do the course, they will, at the completion of the course, and it's very short, one, give you a certification, but beyond that, which is more important to those of us in the ecosystem, they will link you up with the central bank. So apparently the central bank is working with the local government or the government in Abuja here to help build creatives. And one of the challenges that creatives are facing, of course, is funding, especially in terms of collaterals and things like that. People may not truthfully have. So if you attend that program, they will give you a certification, right? But beyond that, they will hook you up with CBN and you have access to those loans as creatives. So it's important that we note that we share the details of how to register with them and all. And once you are done with it, and I think the loans they are looking at are some pretty good amounts of money. So if your business is in need of funding, it's a low-hanging fruit for you to access funding, especially if you are in Abuja, And because you are products of CAVIC, I think they will also be giving you some form of concessions as well. But like I said, we will share the details in the chat room, rather on the WhatsApp group, so that everybody can benefit from it. So thank you very much. Dr. Phillips is in the house, and I believe we can get this party going. Sorry. Okay, someone online. So I'm just going to introduce Dr. Lanre Phillips. Dr. Lanre Phillips is arguably one of the biggest figures in our local ecosystem. Doesn't like me to introduce him, but that's the truth. He's done a lot of businesses over the years. He's had his fingers burnt. He's climbed a lot of mountains as far as businesses are concerned. He's deep into networking. He knows a whole lot of people across Africa, not just Nigeria, and I dare say around the world, truth be told. He's lectured Fortune 500 companies. He's helped them figure out their businesses. And he's been so gracious to us here because we have a relationship with him, and he's agreed to come and talk to us. Even though we are aspiring or early stage startups, he's graciously agreed to come and share from his wealth of experience so that we don't make the mistakes others have made. One of the favorite things I took away from, I think, our sessions that have been going is that if you need to make mistakes, make new mistakes. Don't make mistakes that people have made before, all right? So you can keep learning new things. So he's here today to tell us about what to do. And in his own words, he's truthfully here to tell us how to make money. So when we're done with all the English speaking and everything, the reality of entrepreneurship is that we need to make money. We need to sustain our businesses. And so he's going to be teaching us practical terms or practical ways to truthfully make money. So he's tying together all we've done in the past 3 days. He's bringing it to closure. So I would really implore all of us to pay good attention. It doesn't get as good as this. If you were to speak, or if Dr. Phillips was to speak to you elsewhere, probably have to pay a lot of money to get to hear him. And so please don't let him just speak and run. Ask your questions, note your questions, figure out what you want to know. The questions about your businesses that you need urgent answers to. Please, for the time is here, maximize it for those on site and online as well. So can we just put together our hands, those of us who are in hands, welcome them.
Okay, good morning, everyone. And I think Okay, and then we'll spend a few minutes talking about teaching and they keep modifying for the exam. And I promise you that like I said, I promise you that after 5 minutes, 5 minutes, my airport to pay for it. So let's start. When rotates, right? So do you want to demonstrate rotation? That is it. Yes. Easy. Very easy. So let's just demonstrate rotation. Thought it would be a good place to clap. Remember, if you remember your secondary school as well, the same thing, right? We're told that the earth does something else. You know about it? Okay, so I know about it. Okay, so my son is I'm a perfect person. So show us how the earth revolves. How you did, just did. Better, right? I just did your within the material. See, I just did. Now this is and I love that. I will make you before now. Sit back. So listen. It would be stagnation if the earth was not rotating and revolving. Remember, there is no time that the earth stands still. It would be stagnation if the earth was not rotating and revolving. You know why you just did? Now there's something going on. The earth is continually rotating and revolving. We're not doing anything.
Let's try the other ear.
But if the earth is constantly rotating and revolving, and you are standing not doing anything, even if it's for 1 day, I mean, another word we can use for that is actually retrogressing. So for every time you think you're stagnant, you are not stagnant. If you were stagnant, it probably isn't so bad. But if you're retrogressing, it's not. Did you get it? So for every time you're doing without acquiring knowledge, what you're doing is retrogressing. Why? Because the earth is constantly rotating. Please get this one.
They're trying to sign up.
And then, is there anybody who doesn't? So no more I just did. You not just did. Okay? It's either you are rotating and revolving with the earth or you are retrogressing. It's one of two. There's no stagnant position. Because the earth is never stagnant, remember. It's getting very quiet. I hope so.
So we can
have an agreement that you start. Thank you.
So we have an agreement that if we stand still, we're not stagnant, we're retrogressing. And if you don't agree with me, please let's have this interaction, right? Is there anybody who doesn't agree with me? You don't have to agree. I promise you, you don't have to agree. Philip, you have set me up today. This class is required. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just saying you don't have to agree with me. Okay. The second thing that I want to share with you, okay, and what was the first thing? You are not the one in constant motion, it's the earth. Pardon?
Because the earth is in constant motion and we are part of the earth, then we are also.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. Is that what you guys understood? Who wants to tell me what we just
Yeah, I like to use PG.
Use the PG, that's why we are there.
Okay, waiting here on the sea. The earth is rotating and revolving.
That's right.
And you feel you're standing in a spot. You feel you are standing in a spot, even when you are not doing it. But the truth is, as long as the earth is rotating and revolving, you are doing something. What is that thing? You are growing old. If you are not doing it, that you feel you are not doing anything, or the world on its own is working, I don't know the scientific word or English.
It's moving on.
It's moving on. And you are moving on because you are growing old. So please acquire knowledge or do something. Don't just stand in this place. That's what I feel.
Yeah, close to it. Thank you. One more. One last person.
using my own words, I feel like okay, my name is Crossword.
Crossword.
Like the buzzword.
Crossword. I've never heard that place before.
I feel like life is the story of how you die. So
from this morning I just
so if the earth is rotating and time is passing, you might feel like you just stay, but you can't just stay. So as long as the earth keeps rotating, it is moving forward. So you're not standing in one spot, you're moving forward automatically and it's leaving you behind.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And that's just the analogy. If where we live is rotating and revolving and you are standing on the spot, you're not stagnant. Remember, the earth has left you, it has moved on. So you're retrogressing. Okay. So there's the need for us to constantly search for knowledge. Okay. The second thing I want to talk about is so my interaction with businesses started 16 years ago. Let me just introduce myself properly so that we also don't get it wrong. And it started in the city of, are you writing the fact that it started 16 years ago? It started in the city of Jos. So in the city of Jos, I would come to sessions like this. I was on the faculty of Jos Business School then, and I would train. And I'm sure you know that I'm Yoruba by my name. And they say we like book. Okay. So 2 master's degree and a PhD later, the model changed a bit and I started to teach. So I'll come to sessions like this. I'll blow plenty grammar, fresh from PhD school, put principles, put theories, speak a lot of, the only thing I did was to sell handouts. Major. And then, like I shared with you, I'm on the faculty of several business schools. And one day in Lagos Business School, one woman, the troublesome people like to sit behind. I didn't mean that. I wasn't talking about you. I promise. But there was a woman behind that just raised up her hand and said, Dr. Larry, that thing you said is not exactly true. I'm like, yes, they have caught me today. Because I love to make daunting statements. But these are statements that I have well researched. They are statements that I make that I researched for over 3 months. Okay, so I love to make daunting statements. So I had made one of those statements. She had checked it up on Google And she took it out of context. So she thought I lied or something. So we engaged in a conversation. And of course, teacher always wins now. You don't know teacher always wins. Anyway, I wasn't lying. It's just that she took it out of context. Why am I sharing this silly story with you? I'm sharing this silly story with you because from that day, and this was 6 years ago, 2016, from that day on the floor of Lagos Business School in Lagos, I stopped to train. From that day, I stopped to teach. From that day, everything that I've done from that day in 2016 is to have conversations around topical issues. So if you call me to come and speak anywhere, I'm not training, I'm not teaching, we're just having a conversation. Okay? Will it be a healthy conversation for you to take something away? Absolutely. Absolutely. That I guarantee. So it won't be different today. It wasn't different last week. It won't be different today. All we're going to do is just have a conversation around pitching and have a conversation around what's going on. How can we make money? What exactly is the money making leader? And I am not a motivational speaker. I beg you. Okay, I'm a business coach. That's what I do. Okay, and I think why we will resonate better is because I'm not the business coaches that don't know the price of diesel. I have 4 running businesses in this town. So I buy diesel at the same price as you. I have staff the same way you do. My staff, their father had died 3 times in the last 1 year. You know what I mean? Apologies to the ladies, but my staff, they've had their monthly cycle like 3 times in a month. So, I mean, I feel your pain. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's why a lot of people like to listen to me and the things that I tell you resonate. Okay. So, the first thing that I said is, if you don't learn, if you don't seek for knowledge, you're retrogressing. There's no stagnancy. Second thing that I've told you is that we're just going to have this conversation over the next 1 hour, 15 minutes. Okay. And then you get stuff. Okay. So, one of the things that I've learned in the last 2 years is that some of the things that we were told in school, they are lies. Okay, and I'm sure some of you are also realizing some of those things are lies. I'm a student of economics. I was told that ceteris is paribus. Do you know what that means? Good. So we have economics students here. Okay. The last 2 years, I suddenly realized that all things being equal, the last 2 years, I suddenly realized that ceteris is not paribus. They lied to us. In the last 2 years, I realized that qui sera is not sera. I also realized that, when they say it is what it is not what it is. Don't let them lie to you. Okay, so many things have gone wrong with some of the things that we've been told. Okay, either they don't work in this part of the world, because right now, I'm an economist, remember. Right now, like people say, it's just vibes and inshallah, that is. All economic theories have failed in this country. All economic theories. Okay, because if the countries don't even let me make this, don't let me depress you. Don't let me depress you. Okay. So which one should we talk about first? Should we talk about pitching first, or should we talk about making money first? You guys want to learn about pitching first. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you about pitching is that, the first thing I want to tell you about human beings is that we are emotional people. No matter how brilliant you think you are, we're not logical people, we're emotional people. So we're ruled by emotions. We think we are logical people. We think every of our decision is based on logic. It's a lie from the pit of hell. We're emotional people. So if you want to pitch, the first thing you need to understand is that the people you're pitching to are emotional people, just like you are. Okay? So, Dr. Larry, why are you confusing us? Are you saying we should not put logic into our presentation? No. Or you need to understand that human beings are emotional people, right? So the first thing you should seek out for, right, is to have an emotional connection with your audience, the people you're pitching to. That's the first thing you should seek out to do. Get an emotional connection with your audience. And we have not even started talking about pitching. So I'm wondering why people are writing so many things down. Don't write, just look at me. You remember these things, I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. So let's talk about pitching proper now. There are 5 steps that I think people should just use to pitch. Keep it simple and just follow those 5 steps. The first one, and this is where I'm going to spend a lot of time. The first one is that you need to identify a problem. Friends, I know you have heard this several times. Okay. When the way I like to put it is slightly different. If you don't find a problem, don't start a business yet. As a matter of fact, don't start a business because you've seen somebody do it and the person is very successful. So if you have a fish and chips restaurant on your street and they are making plenty money, don't say because there's a fish and chips restaurant in my street, I am going to do fish and chips and I'll make money too. No. Okay, so the first thing is to identify a problem. The way I like to put it is, if you want to identify a problem, don't go and look for kinetics. Don't go and look for a solar solution, except if that is your field and you're very good at it. Look for a problem that you have. Look for a problem that someone like you has. All of my businesses are addressing problems of 40 to 50-year-olds because that is my age group. All of my businesses are addressing problems of people within my income frame because they can afford the services that I'm offering them. Still getting very quiet. You guys are not giving me the advice that I want. What's going on? Is it too much English? Is it? No, this connection is quiet. Okay, don't worry. When we start to talk about making money, we'll have some more fun. But I need you to understand this one. And I'm trying to be as unacademic as possible. So look for real problems. Any problem that you have. Listen, it was because somebody wanted money on a Sunday. I couldn't get money from the bank. That's why we have ATMs. That's a genuine problem. I shared with the last 30 years the problem that, so 3 years ago, I went to speak at Bowen. The vice chancellor had invited me to come and speak to graduate students because he wanted quite a number of them to go into the market and develop businesses as against look for jobs. So I noticed that within Bowen, and they had these cabs within campus. You know, it was 50 naira from place to place. I spent 2 days there. So I was moving around different places on campus, you know, and I love to carry meat. I like to be fresh. So I went there with a bundle of 200,000. It's not a lot of money. Don't look at me like a Yahoo boy. It's just that I love meat. No, 20,000, just 200 naira. But I discovered that every of the cab that I entered, somehow, none of them had change. So that means I was spending 200,000 for each of my trips. I mean, 200. Money is coming. So I discovered I was spending 200 naira for each of my trips, you know, and I had 2 people that they had assigned, you know, to take me around that. So I started to talk to the boy and I said, look, this is a real problem on this campus. So the boy was telling that they never have change, sir. That's how they behave. At times, you need to take down their numbers and tell them you enter the next one, you know, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward 3 years later, that boy saw a real problem that, you know, we both saw it as a real problem. There's an app that is being used, and I've forgotten, Kobo or something, that's being used for that purpose now. And I think they've even extended it beyond that campus. So that's a real problem. Okay. As entrepreneurs, your job is not to develop solutions. You've not heard this one before. Ideas don't make you money. It's getting very quiet. I speak the truth. I don't care how many books have been written on this. Ideas don't make you money. What makes you money is the identification of the problem. You know why? If you identify a problem, you don't even need to be the one to bring the solution to that problem to make money. One small boy in one startup hub will develop a technology solution for you that will solve that problem, and you will make money. So your own job as entrepreneurs is to go and look for problems. And I'm talking about real life problems. It's easier for you if the problem that you've looked for is one that you face. We're consultants and we love to make money from you guys. Telling you want to write business plan. I don't know if a lot of consultants would like this thing that I want to say. What is a business plan? Think about it, friends. I'll collect your 500K, I will chop it. Yes, it's not a lot of work. A business plan just tells you how your proposed customers will behave, right? To spend money on your product. So it shows you the cash flow of how your business will behave and how you can pay back anything you've borrowed and how your business will flow into the future. That is a business plan. If you understood how your customers will behave, would you necessarily need a voluminous business plan? Friends, I'm asking you. I'm giving you expo now. It's getting very quiet. I'm worried. I'm very worried. I'm very worried. So don't be deceived. Your job, friends, is to go and look for problems. And like I pledged in the class last week, if you have found any problem and you don't know what to do to it, I'll leave my details. Come and meet me. Send the problem to me. Let's make money. Don't look for the solution. There are too many ways to find solution to the problem. Now, that is not your job. You know, the problem we have is we want to be risky. We want to be seen as the one who has developed the solution. That's not where the money is from. I promise you, that's not where the money is. I'm a serial investor in startups. And I've seen people come to meet me. Dr. Larry, I just woke up today and I designed this thing. My question always to them, and I've asked this question over and over again, who sent you? If you start off not telling me the problem you discovered, see, listen, what I'm telling you is the difference between businesses that look for customers and businesses that customers look for. In Abuja today, there are businesses that customers are looking for. I'm sure you know some of them. So if you carry your solution, if you start from a solution perspective, you wake up in the morning and you just come up with a solution, you will carry that solution and you will be looking for problem every day of your life, and it's a struggle. But if you sit back and look for a problem that you have, that your friends have, that people in your socioeconomic status have, I promise you, so long as it's a genuine problem, by the time you find a solution for it, whether developed by you, whether developed by any idiot, everybody that has that problem will look for you. Everybody that has that problem will look for you. So your own job, friends, is to go and look for problems. Just go look for problems. So first step is identify a problem or a set of problems that you want to solve. The second step, where I'm not even going to spend a lot of time, is prefer the solution. It's not a big deal. At least it's not a big deal anymore. You need to go to some of these hubs and see what small boys are doing. You just need to. The third step is, so that we don't get this wrong. If you've discovered a problem, if you found a solution, either through you, either through your friend, or either through one small boy in one startup, if the size of the market is not large enough, we die broke. And I've just been a realist here. If the people that have the problem that you have identified, if they are not many enough, that if they pay you 50 naira to do you, we die broke. So don't go around saying, Dr. Larry said I should just look for a problem and a hammer. You have no hammer. Okay? So, and I don't know, people don't like me. I know it's that's why you guys are quiet. But I owe it to you to tell you the truth. I owe it to you to tell you the truth. So identify a problem, prefer a solution, consider the market size. So the market size has to be large enough. If you don't have a large enough market size in terms of numerical features, the following people have to be your customers. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Otedola with the money, Chief Dr. Mike Adenuga, Tony Elumelu, Larry Phillips. Exactly. So you are permitted not to consider the size of the market if these 5 people are your customers and they will buy from you every day. Yeah, okay, and they will buy enough volumes. Okay. The second thing you need to consider is the behavior of the market size. So if the bulk of people in your target segment are 65 and above, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? They what? Say it the way it is, they will soon die. Right? Let's be real. Can we just speak? They will soon die. And your customers will be depleted. Okay, so think about the size in terms of numerics. Think about the behavior in terms of the type of market. So the best thing to do is to get a growing market, right? The fourth thing that I want to talk about, and a lot of people that come to pitch don't take full advantage of this, is show me the money. Don't speak a lot of English. Don't come here with cash flow analysis. Don't come. Just tell me in very simple terms. Oga, if you give me 5 million naira, this is where the 5 million naira is going. If it goes into this place, this is what it produces. If it produces this, this is how your money will come back. If the person is investing in your business for return, even if it is a grant, and you know, several times when people give you grants, what they are looking at is what is the social good you are doing with the business, right? So the same process. Oga, if you give me a grant of 5 million, this is where it will go. This is what it will turn into. This is the volume of social good we will do. This is the number of people we would employ. This is the number of hungry people we will take off the streets. Do you understand? And this has to be very clear. This is not the place you want to speak English. Okay? The final thing is that the way the human mind works, right, is that if two of us come to pitch to you, you will trust us more than if me alone comes to pitch to you. Somehow that is just the way the human mind works. The thinking is if before the two of them can agree to swindle me, the two of them have to be real hardcore ogologo. You know, but it's easy for one person to be an ogologo. You understand what I mean? Exactly. So always remember that when you have a team, you look better than when it's just a founder. When you have a team, the trust is much, much more than when it's just a founder. And what I recommend is very simple. On your team, you, the founder, you don't even have to have the technical know-how. In fact, in very easy terms, I usually say, let the finest person be the founder, because your own job is different. Your own job is just to stand in front of camera and be speaking English. You know, that's all you do, just represent the image of the company. But as part of your team, ensure that there's one person that understands the technology of what you're doing. And you can give them any name, call them COO, call them, it's just nomenclature. On your team, ensure that there's somebody who understands the fourth process that I talk about. That's the money making, you know, and is able to explain it. That's all you need. So if you have a team of 3 people, maybe 2 people, it's okay. Maybe more if you choose to. And give yourself good nomenclature, for God's sake. The waiters in my restaurant are not called waiters. They're called service officers. There's a way waiter behaves. There's a way service officer behaves. Do you understand? I produce bottled water. Okay. So one day when we're doing restructuring, I started to call the supervisor. You know when there's a factory, there's somebody that has stayed with you for like 3 years. Okay. I started to call the supervisor. He's not a GM. I don't have a GM in my factory. I'm the GM. You know, I started to call the supervisor senior manager. After 1 week, I saw supervisor wear suit to work. Factory worker, I saw coat on him. I'm like, yes. So there's nothing wrong with nomenclature. It's your nomenclature. Call anybody anything. Chief funding officer, chief executive officer. Make senior. make yourselves feel good. Okay. So who wants to quickly run me through the 5, because we finished speaking about pitching already. Okay. Who wants to quickly run me? Somebody that didn't write it down. Help me. No, it doesn't matter. The arrangement doesn't matter. Just talk. You guys are pretty quiet. Very pretty quiet. I'm sleepy.
Okay, so one said, look for.
Say it in your own words.
Look for a problem.
Or a set of problems.
Okay, a set of problems. Another one said, look for the people. look for the number, or look at the range of number of people that would.
That's fine. It's called the market size. Just say it in your own words.
I will try it. Another one.
And what did he say about that?
About, okay, then you shouldn't, if you can get people like Dangote.
We do not Dangote. Dangote is your customer. Tedola is your customer. No menu. I think that and me. Yeah, that's actually one. That's how I understood it. Like these people will buy.
Okay, possibly, I think he has mentioned everything, but the first to mention, identify a problem, then look for a solution.
What did I say about identifying the problem?
He said that's the core of everything. If you're not finding a problem, there's no business. Yes, so that's what I got from that. Yes, so identify a problem, find a way to solve.
We want to identify a problem about space, you don't have to go to space.
Okay, identify a real life problem, identify a problem that is better, it's your own problem, it's a problem that you can relate to personally. Yes, not something that is alien to you or something very far away, something you can't relate to it easily. Yes, it's better you find something around you, something you personally, that's a pain point for you. Yes, that's what he said, and that. Okay, can I move on to? Okay, yeah, so identify the solution to the problem, and then find the right team, to help stop the right team to help stop the problem. And those are the things I can remember saying.
First of all, you said identify a problem, a real life problem that's easily relatable. Secondly, provide a solution. Thirdly, you said in the simplest of ways, show what the money will do or where the money is going to. Then you also said get yourself a team, and it would be best if the team is like the people in the team are even better than you and have better knowledge of what you're doing. In a way, it would make more sense. Yes, because it would bring more profit and all of that. And then you also say identify the market size, and make sure the market size is profitable to what you want.
Exactly. Thank you so very much. Okay. So, do we have any questions about pitching as I start to round up? Any questions? So, Dr. Larry, if I do these things, the people just start throwing money my way.
Okay. Yes. There is a technical aspect of analyzing your market and then getting the money. Yes, all those analysis around break-even and all of that and all of that. What about taking care of all those?
That's where that was the fourth point that I said. I said, show me the money. Okay. You know what the issue is in this part of the world? We like when things are so very analytical. You know, if I put up a slide now showing you cash flow projections, showing you the revenue model, showing you business model canvas, you probably, this man knows book. Listen, this is my field. This is what I went to school for 6 years after finishing my master's. If I want to bamboozle with all those things, I will do it gladly. For 2 years. The reality is the pitching. Remember, you're not pitching for 2 hours. Remember, you're not pitching for 2 hours. Tops, you'll be given 30 minutes to pitch. Okay, tops. And if people give you 30 minutes to pitch, it's because they really like you and they want to hear from you. Okay? So, in the shortest time possible, how do you convince someone to at least either invest in your business immediately or give you another opportunity to come and speak? Right? That is what I'm telling you about. Okay? So, remember, if you don't get that emotional connection, there is no amount of logic. People buy you before they buy your business. People buy you before they buy your products. The buying decision, sorry, let me just quickly say this. The buying decision is an emotional decision. You've heard these things before. Let me tell you what it means. What it means is people buy from their hearts. They don't buy from their heads. People don't buy 1 + 1 = 2. If this phone is 500,000 naira in Wuse 2 and it is 800,000 naira in Metama, people will still go to Metama and buy the phone at 800,000 naira, knowing that in Wuse 2 it's 500,000 naira. Have you seen it happen? Let me give you a good example that I did the last class. You know where hustle and bustle is? If you like, pretend that you don't know. You guys are creative, you should know. Pardon? Just very close by down the road. Did you say they are not? Are you one of us? Okay. So barely 500 meters from hustle and bustle, right? Is the Wuse market, isn't it? In the Wuse market, a bottle of Hennessy, I'm told, sells for 21,000 naira, 21. Across the road on a Friday night in hustle and bustle, the people that are buying the Hennessy in hustle and bustle know that in Wuse market is 21,000. They go across the road on a Friday night with the music and all of the jumping, buy it for 80,000. 80. It's not like they sweat them. It's not like they juice them. Nobody puts fireworks on an 80K dream. Nobody does the remake for 80K dream. No, nobody does the remake for 80,000 naira. If you want to remake 300,000 naira. But do you understand the reality of what I'm sharing? And I'm just trying to use relatable examples. So the buying decision is in the heart, is not in the head. Let me make another dangerous statement. The buying decision is not a logical decision. Logic resides in the head. Emotions reside in the heart. The buying decision is an emotional decision. Let me take it a notch higher. By extension, you buy what you like. Did you hear me? By extension, you buy. Are you here tomorrow? Awesome, great. If you don't believe me, now I'll give my details. If you don't believe me, tomorrow morning as you wake up, tear out a sheet of paper and get it down. Everything that you spend money on, write it down. Dash date 50,000, put it down. The bike, 200 naira, put it down. Bread, 50 naira, put it down. Everything you spend money on, put it down. Call me at 9 p.m. or about 10 p.m. when you're ready to sleep. Let's look at the list of things that you spend money on. Research tells us that not less than 87.7% of the things you spend money on a daily basis are emotional. What do I mean by emotional? Anything that is not formed out of logic. I hope there will be somebody that will take me up on this. Is there anybody who still doesn't agree with me? And let me just come and have this conversation with you so that everybody, both our friends online and here, will benefit from it. Is there anybody who doesn't quite agree with me? Please let there be somebody. No, don't agree with me, please. You don't. Let's have the conversation. No. It's a very simple conversation. Hold on. It's a very simple conversation. Remember what logic means. Logic means you are buying functionality. You are rational in your thoughts. You are buying the least cost possible item that can fulfill that functionality. That is logic. Emotion comes when you start to consider other things outside of functionality. That is an emotional purchase. And we have that discussion now. Can we?
So for example, if you're
Don't help it. Can we have that? Okay. Can we let's assume that you don't agree with me. So for the benefit of people, right? Sir, how are you, sir? I like your wristwatch. This wristwatch, was it a logical purchase or was it an emotional purchase? Okay, tell us something that you have on you that wasn't a gift. Anything. Good. Okay. So, exactly. So he's got a PSG shirt on. Okay. With his name behind, I didn't even see that one. Let's look for something else because that's clearly emotional. Let's look for something else. I know laptop is. Oh, is your laptop functional? You want us to go that way? I'm looking for someone that will just take me. Pardon? Okay, this man is filled with
functional.
Everything that is around him is emotional for you. There's no functional. It's all emotional. Okay, so you don't understand. Fantastic. So please hold your bag up. Let them see. So what? You see his bag, crocodile skin and all. Hold it. Let everybody see. What this tells me, listen, and I won't even ask you how much you bought that. Okay. So if you want to be logical in your purchase, what is the definition of a bag? Something to carry your stuff from place to place, right? I put it to you. Is this the cheapest possible item that can carry your stuff from place to place? So if you wanted to be a logical buyer, you would buy a regular bag, something that looks like what auditors carry. Is it not just to carry things from place to place, just to drop your laptop inside and all that? Do you understand? If you wanted to buy a wristwatch, you would buy the cheapest possible item that can tell you and that's fine. That's what a wristwatch does, right? So we are not, but that's not what we buy. Okay, at least most times that's not what we buy. So we are not logical buyers. Logic resides in the head. Logic is mathematics. Logic is 1 + 1 = 2. Anything outside of logic is called an emotional purchase. And if you check within your heart, most of the purchases you make, even basic stuff, are emotional purchase. Check it. Okay, so people don't buy logic, people buy emotion. I remember the next set of statements I made. People buy you before they buy a product. Okay, and that's because the buying decision is an emotional decision. It rests in the heart. And I've shared with you. If you feel you want to argue with me, but you don't want to bring it up, just take care of that exercise tomorrow and then call me in the evening and let's have a conversation. The final thing I want to tell you about pitching before we quickly jump to yes.
Yes, so question about this. So you mentioned about how pitching is more emotional than logical, or there's emotional bit
It's where you have emotional connect. Yes. So what happens when, because you don't pitch, or well, I'm not saying where people pitch once and then it's accepted or the pitch is approved or whatever. Like the first time, the first idea they pitch, and then they just got it. So what happens over time when you as an entrepreneur, you pitch, you're trying to pitch several ideas, and of course you need to connect in another way other than what you're pitching to the person you're pitching to.
Excellent question. Thank you. Excellent question. No, I don't know that. Excellent question. Did you hear him? He said most times when you pitch, you're not getting a final answer in that. Okay. And that just buttresses everything that I've told you. Pitching involves an emotional connection. What you want from that pitching is for them to notice you and say, this guy, yes. And then they invite you. Listen, I'm a serial investor. It is not every session you go to where we sit down as angel investors and the person comes, okay? And you are just very excited. You don't take the decision right there and then your money will go. But are you going to find people that you like and you want to take the conversation further? Yes, and that is the essence of that situation. Okay, are you able to connect with them in a way that they see, this guy is solving a real problem? Even if they don't believe that if they invest money in your business, you have the structure for their money to come back with it. This guy is solving a big problem. He's solving a genuine problem. Let's call him over. Let's have lunch with him. Okay? It's just like what they call elevator pitch. Have you heard about elevator pitch before? Okay, elevator pitch is what it is. An elevator pitch is a pitch that you must conclude in tops an hour, 30 minutes, 90 seconds. Okay, and the only way you can imagine it is imagine that you are at the Hilton, okay, and you just wanted to go see somebody at the Hilton, and as you are about to enter the elevator, you find out that there's only one person inside the elevator, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, and you enter into the elevator with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, and he's going to the 10th floor. The 10th floor is here, so he's going to the 10th floor. What do you tell him from the time you are in the elevator with him up until the time he gets to the 10th floor? Because that won't take more than 1 minute, isn't it? What do you tell him? Talk to me. Don't tell us what you will tell him. Tell me. Give him the microphone. So you enter into the elevator and the door closes. It's just you and Dangote inside, and it's going to the 10th floor. Can somebody help us time? Maximum 40 seconds.
When does it go? Okay, my name is Abdullah, fashion designer, and I would like to introduce my business to you. It's an urban and easy traditional way for both women and young girls. And I would like to invest in my business. This business is for one of those who like luxury, mostly luxury for men. And
And the door opens. I haven't think 40 seconds. 40 seconds is probably too much. You should notice Dangote is a busy man. Who wants to try? Who wants to try? Let's try. So let's keep it at. Let's look at the elevator. Let's keep it at. Let's keep it at. Let's keep it at 30 seconds. Let's keep it at 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to ask a question.
You want to ask a question?
Your product, your Aliko that everything that does.
I say I'm Aliko now. Is there a problem with that? I think that I'm Africa's richest man and the richest black man in the world. So,
good morning.
How are you, young lady?
My name is Shiva. Nice to meet you, Mr. Okay, first off, I want to ask you, how can I help you? How can I help you, sell sugar in a healthy way. We as millennials, we don't like sugar. We want to live healthier than our parents, healthier than our grandparents. So how do we sell sugar in a healthy way?
Just pause. I'm not going to comment yet because I don't want to preempt. So who wants to try? Can you want to try? Go ahead. So elevator is about to open now.
Hi, good morning. My name is CEEP COHORT, and I employ systematic storytelling to design programs that drive sustainable action in grassroots communities. I can help you design programs for your organization that addresses issues beneath the user surface. That is, issues that lie underneath. People just buy your product, but then there are other things that make them either
He's right. You don't need the elevator. There are security men waiting. His GM is there, his PA is there, so you can't continue. Okay. Let's save a bit of time. And let's come back to what you didn't mention your name, by the way. You didn't mention your name either. Okay, you did. Let's look at what she did. Okay. Did you notice anything in what she did?
Yeah, I can help you.
Listen, and I don't know if you've been around billionaires. There are two things that billionaires are thinking of. One, they want to save costs. Those who are wicked, they have money, but they still want to save money. They are looking for ways to just cut costs. Two, their ego rules them. So anything that will put their ego in the right light, that's what billionaires want to do. Listen, you've got 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. Your name is not important. Not at that point in time. It's not important. Introducing yourself. All you want to do in 30 seconds is just catch the man's attention. That's all you want to do. All an elevator pitch does for you is to ensure that the man will call you and invite you to his office or tell you to see his GM. So anything you would say, imagine entering inside the elevator. Do you know how many people tell Dangote every day, let's do this for you, I want you. Do you understand? Do you know the number of people that is beck and call? But you enter and say, sir, I have a product that can save the cost of your lorries by 30%. He will listen to you. He might not listen to you inside that elevator, but you have caught his attention. In fact, I went somewhere and we were trading on elevator pitch, and one very, very, very great young boy did a different thing. Said he would just enter and he would look at Dangote and say, sir, you know I'm actually one of the people that don't like. Oh yes. Oh yes. Because your sugar is killing everybody. Listen, you will catch. Listen, all you want to do within 30 seconds. All you want to do within 30 seconds is just to catch his attention, so that he can give you a further and proper interview where you can now start to talk about everything. Because in 30 seconds, you can't talk about everything. Okay? So that's what an elevator pitch is. Okay. Yes, can you infuse some of what you do? Yes. Yes. But to the extent that you just want to catch his attention, that's all you want to do within that space of 30 seconds. Because in all honesty, yes, except somebody that will be unfair to you. So you can help make statements like, I help Nigerian students do better. He hears these things every day. There are too many people that are into EdTech that want to help Nigerian students do better. Okay, he'll just direct you to his foundation. Go and see the GM Dangote Foundation. Right? But if you say stuff, and if you notice, I have not exactly told you what to say. Okay, because if I exactly tell you what to say, I'm not helping you. What if you don't find yourself in that kind of situation? I have been flying to London before, and somehow I got an upgrade. This was a long time ago. I got an upgrade because one of the people working with Virgin Nigeria, remember Virgin Nigeria those days, was my friend, so they gave me an upgrade. And the man that sat at the other side was totally looking. And for 6 hours, I didn't know what to tell him. I was just starstruck. For 6 hours, I couldn't even, the only thing good to see you, sir. Good. Everybody who sat down next to uncle for 6 hours, you didn't know what to do. And I speak the truth, you can find yourself in this kind of situation. So at every point in time, when you get home today, just practice it in 30 seconds. What do I tell somebody that is a big man? In 30 seconds, that will make it catch my attention, or that will make me catch his attention. It's getting very quiet. That's why it's getting quiet. So the final thing I want to tell you about pitching is that because we have agreed that pitching is about getting an emotional connection, you need to wrap it around a story. A story. Okay. And wrap it around a personal story. People believe personal stories more. Okay. So when you're talking about the problem, okay, make it look real. Okay. So tell the people you're pitching to that. That's how day before yesterday, in the place where I live, is a face me, I face you. You know, they're already imagining it. You know, and my neighbor's daughter just started to walk out and fell down and broke her tooth. There was blood everywhere. I'm just creating the story. I don't even know where the story is coming from. There was blood everywhere. And before they could rush her to the hospital, I don't know, something. You know, the problem behind this is that there are 25,000 children in Abuja who have this kind of funny accidents in a day. And before they get to the hospital, they have lost too much blood. How about, I'm just saying, I don't know. How about that? That led me to think that we need to create something for emergencies. That's on your mobile phone or on even by USSD. I'm just saying, I'm not. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense, but I'm just vibing. Okay, so it's always good when you wrap it around a story. It looks real. It's not every time you use statistics. Yes, it's good to use statistics, especially when you're talking about the market side, right? But when you're starting off, catch the attention of the story. Okay, so when talking about the problem, state the fact that it has happened to somebody that you know, or it has even happened to you, right? So say a story around how this problem is your problem. And because it's your problem and it's the problem of all your friends and it's the problem of people around you, you're passionate about solving. You get that? One thing I didn't tell you about my teaching style, I will not tell you 4 keys of pitching. That's old school. 4 cues of question. That's old school. In all of our discussions, I believe that you'll be able to come out with something that will help you. Has it been worth your while so far? Don't patronize me. Don't patronize me. Do we have any questions so far? No questions, no observations.
It's not like I have a question. I just wanted to go from identifying the market size again.
Okay. So in identifying the market size, I said you need to identify a large enough market size, right? If the market size is not large enough, you'll be broke. You know, if your product or your service is going to, if it's subscription based and it's going to cost 500 naira every month, if you don't have a minimum of 200,000 people paying 500,000 naira every month, you'll be broke. Okay, so look at the large enough market size. And I said, if it is not a large enough market size numerically, be sure, and I said this hilariously, by the way, be sure that the billionaires are in your segment, are your market segment. Okay, but of course, it's always better to have a large enough market size. Okay, for so many reasons, risks. In banking, there's something called single obligor risk. When you put too much in the hands of one person. Okay, so have a large enough market size, and I also talk about the behavior of the market size. Okay, make sure that it's a growing market. Okay, do business for people that you understand how they behave. Do business for people that you understand what makes them spend money. No matter how attractive it is, I can't build a crèche. My son is 21, my daughter is 19. I can't remember how I behaved when they were babies. Do you understand? So I can't build a crutch. I don't understand the business model. I will need to employ a consultant to help me do a business plan. Do you understand? Or can I do business for somebody like myself and Philip? Absolutely, because I understand what drives people my age. The age in which we are now, family is king. Our health is major. This belly has to go. Those are the things, association, those are the things that mean, the world to us. So any business wrapped around these things will make sense to Philip and I. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is how you should think as well. It's easier. Dr. Larry, can I do business for people that I don't understand how they behave? Yes, possibly. Spend your money, bring your money. The consultant, I'll do the business plan for you. You work with that business plan, but God help you if something goes wrong. Because you won't be able to predict, you won't be able to project, and that's the problem when you do business for people outside of the market that you understand. Right? As I speak to you now, can you do food business for people in Denmark? Not Nigerians, or both people in Denmark. Can't you do food? They just want to eat.
I need to understand their food.
Are you serious? So that's how it is. It's that simple. Okay? So, fitting done? Yes, please.
Yeah, so I want to ask, right? What if your targeted market is not in your natural habitat? Say, how do I explain this?
Say it anyhow.
I'm a creative, and most of the people I know, but like my poetry grew in Abdul Society.
I didn't get that last.
My poetry, I grew around different people, communities. But I know, I noticed that the people that really pay for what I do are not creatives. They don't like creatives do not patronize because it's like they're struggling, they're like the same hustlers, so I'm not going to bring up money.
They are not meant to.
Yeah,
Creatives are not meant to patronize.
So the people I know with that are not that creatives.
Yes.
So creatives are the people I know.
Yes.
So you're talking about understanding your buyers,
Good. So your market segment is not for creatives.
Yeah.
Because you are a creative yourself. You can't sell ice to the Eskimo. Remember. So your market segment is people like Philip, the big man. People that would look at poetry and to shock them. Okay, if I give you an opportunity to just recite one poem now, I will melt. I've not heard a poem in a long time. So those are the kind of people you're looking for. People that small whining, they will treat. People that you can find their momo button very easily. You can't find the momo button of a creative because the person is inside the same industry. So that wasn't what when I said look for like minds. I wasn't talking about people that do the same thing you do.
Yeah,
I'm talking about people
like this is people I know. Now, how do we get to know these people?
Okay, so you're dragging us into segmenting, and I'll deal with it. So look for people, and I say it very easily. So it depends if you are selling a product, and I agree that yours is different, and I'll explain the kind of people you should look for. If you are selling a product, okay, look for people in your age bracket. We mentioned it earlier. Look for people in your socioeconomic state, people that can afford the things that you're bringing up. Look for people who their thought process even resonates with what you're doing, right? Let's use poetry now. Who are the people you think enjoy poetry the most?
Educated.
So educated, don't say anything, just break it down for me. Okay, educated, yes. Just say every single word. Oyibo, yes.
But I can definitely say educated.
What kind of poetry do you do, by the way?
I do local poetry that performed in the Parliament here.
When you say local poetry, pidgin English.
Yes.
Now we're talking. Do you use music as well?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. So
educated. I do social poetry.
No, let's talk about the segment now. Okay. Educated. Oyibo, yes.
Yeah,
Rich. What age group?
I do for young people.
Not who you do for.
Okay.
What age group would appreciate what you're doing?
Say from 13 to 45.
That's too large an age group. What age group is your core? Not more than 10 years.
Because actually,
We're going to do this thing. Because somebody will benefit from this. This is how to create. Go ahead.
like from 15 to like 45.
You said
From 15 to 45.
no. You see, that's the mistake we make. Yes.
Yeah, but so I was going to say, right? Maybe this is exactly the problem she's having.
Yes. So we will deal with it.
If you have a challenge and you don't see
We will deal with it. We'll
this
deal
is
with
now
it.
narrowing it. So
We'll deal with it. Yes.
have you performed in front of the senior
Yes.
schools or how did I have
Yeah, I perform in front of schools.
Okay, so like in the schools, what I'm asking, where did they get the gathering of students?
Okay, like Anna, the artificial Nigerian girls, they do that singing in Veritas University. Okay. So they bring like really young children that are learning poetry. So I performed there. There's also a talent hunt I performed on.
I'm not impressed.
I've
been
yeah, but I usually perform like this age group because Abuja Literary Society and all
we get paid. Let's be real.
No.
Teenagers pay you.
No, they don't. Okay, asking me my target market or people I perform.
Your target market is what I'm
okay,
interested in. Who will
okay,
pay you the money? We want to see you in Paris. We want to see you in Geneva. Now we are talking. So listen, friends. The way that I do target segmenting is slightly different. I don't do it the way it's inside those textbooks, right? Listen, until you can point to somebody and say, this person is in my target market. As far as I'm concerned, you've not done segmenting. And that's why for me, from 13 to 45 is too large a group. It's too large. That universe is too much. It's too large. So you see a 13-year-old boy, you get my customer. You see a 45-year-old man, it's too much. You know, our fear is that when we're doing segmenting, we think the larger they are, the better for us. Life. We're lazy. It's a lazy person that will tell you my target segment. Men and women, 10 years old, then when they get to even 40, they're still live. They're no longer target segment. So you have to be selfish a bit. You know why? If you're not selfish, what attracts a 10-year-old boy is not the same thing that attracts a 45-year-old person. Okay? And you want me to jump the gun now, but there's a difference between the customer and the consumer. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Sorry, sir. There's a question online. I'm not so sure how this applies. So the person online is asking, right? Tolu is asking, please, what should be our maximum and minimum age range for our need?
Okay. So Tolu, there is no maximum age range. There's no minimum age range. It depends on what you're doing. Okay. But what I like to do is keep the age at a maximum of 10 to 15 years. Remember when I was saying about Philip and I said between 40 and 50, most of them behave about the same way. Men between 40 and 50, there are things that bring them together. They like to drink, they like to socialize, they like to have one sport or gym that they are going, they like to do family, vacations and all that. You can describe their behavior to a very large extent. It's not the same thing for the boys at 19. The things I did at 20 are not the things I'm doing now. Ironically, the things that I did 30 years ago are not the things that I'm doing now. What drives my passion now? Family, golf, travel, meeting old friends that I haven't seen in a long time. Those are the things that drive my passion. 10 years ago, was I a golfer? Yes. But was I playing golf? No. I was drinking beer up and down. Because if I'm not, and I say it in all honesty, 10 years ago when I was 30 something, those were the things fueling my passion. It was to go from party to party. What? Hey, we're almost 50 now. Things will calm down a bit. So the things that drive me are different. And I'm saying this thing because Philip is here and you can agree with me that it's the same thing. So keep your target segment to a manageable age range so that you can predict how they behave. You know what happens when you get your target segment right? You can close your eyes and say this to me. I know the thing that drives them. I will develop a solution for them. I know where their money button is. You understand? So when we get to the customer and consumer pattern, I'll be able to explain it to you. So for me, if I were to create a target segment, the people are one. I think, yes, Oyibo, I agree, but there are too few Oyibo to pay you enough money. We said that earlier. Your target market is too small. There are too few Oyibo that you can contact to pay the kind of money that we want you to make. Okay, so who are the people that would appreciate poetry? I don't know about you, Philip. Okay, Philip is in the industry, so maybe he has poetry. I speak the truth. I can't remember the last time I heard a poem. I can't remember. I speak the truth. Maybe I'm too busy chasing money. I can't remember. So are you possibly looking for people like me? Okay. Are you possibly looking for people who have a little time and just want a different kind of environment in the evening, apart from a lounge, a bar, or just want a different kind of chill? I went to Ghana a few months back, and one of the most exciting nights of my life last year was just sitting down somewhere, and I didn't know salsa was that interesting. Just sitting down somewhere, having drinks, and just watching people dance salsa. And I was there for 3 hours. And I'm a very restless person. It's difficult to get me to sit down somewhere for 3 hours. But this was me just enjoying something different. Okay, so go and look for the people that love the things that you do and will be able to pay for it. Listen, in paying for it, there's the willingness and the ability. Don't look for people that will just love you. They must love you. The willingness must be there. And they must be able to pay for what you do. The ability must be there. Because if they love you, they will come around, but they won't pay you. And we want you to be rich. Okay, so I don't want to make this promise, but anyway, so so let me don't let me make promises. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. So imagine someone that you know, okay, that would love poetry, okay, and that would be able to pay for poetry. Do you have any name in your head right now? We don't even have to know the person.
Someone who loves poetry.
Oh yes, it's willingness and ability. I fall into that category, by the way. I'm just telling you because it's strange to me. Pardon? You do? Do you know one person?
Yes.
Good. Hold on. Listen to the conversation. What's the person's name?
Hawa.
Hawa. How old is Hawa?
She should be 30 to 35.
So 30 to, let's say 30 to 40. Okay. What does Hawa do?
She's a social activist.
She's a social activist. Okay. How much does she earn monthly? Roughly.
She's rich.
She's rich. Like,
She's rich.
How much monthly? 500K, 1 million, 1.5. 500K monthly. Good. Is she married?
Yes, sir.
She's married. Does she have children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many children does she have?
2 have seen.
Okay. What school does her children go to? What school do they go to? Funky school or really funky school? Good. Okay. What does she do in the evenings after she goes to pick her children from school?
I don't know.
Is she a housewife or she stay at home all the time? Okay.
Like commissions, she does projects, program, and all that.
What does she do on weekends? You will know.
I don't know that.
Where does her husband work?
Oh, I don't understand.
Is she Muslim or Christian?
Muslim.
Okay. Okay. What state is she from?
Tamawasi.
Okay. Is she the first or last child?
I don't think she's the first. She's not the last.
But describe her generally. What kind of person is she?
She's the she's like there are community type of women. Okay. Social change. Daughter.
She give me money. Go ahead.
Social change, missioning centers, education, and
where does she like to chill in her chill period? What does she like to do? Where does she like to?
I think she takes tea. She's a good one.
She takes tea.
Yeah.
Wow. What else? She's a family kind of person. So what of Sunday evenings? What does she do? You know why I'm asking all those questions? And thank you very much. Sorry for putting you on the spot. You know why I'm asking all those questions? Those are the same questions you would ask when you want to create your market segment. Okay, so if you've identified one person that is a perfect fit for your segment, just look at the person. What you're looking for like people, like that person, people that have the same attributes, the same features, the same kind of behavioral patterns, and the same kind of income, the same kind of age, possibly the same kind of, you heard me talk about religion, possibly the same type of ethnicity. Okay, why? Because those are the people that are your target segment. Listen, if 20 people pass in front of me, if there's only one person that falls into my target segment, I recognize that person. Because the first thing I'm looking for, and I'm sorry I have to say, this person I'm looking for is a man between 40 and 50. I'm not looking for a 20-year-old. You can't afford the things that I do. I'm not looking for a 70-year-old or guy that's Unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say, I'm not even looking for a woman. So I'm selfish like that. The things that I do is a man's decision. No, I'm just being blunt with you. I'm just being blunt with you. So don't create a segment that is too general. You will not understand their behavior. You will not understand their behavior. If your income is less than 1.5 million naira, it's a problem for me because of the segment that I've created, because of the things that I do. If you earn 500K a month, you cannot be in my target segment, unfortunately. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to get that selfish. Your target segment could be people earning 20K to 50K. That means if somebody is earning more than 50K monthly, the person is not in your target segment. Don't be greedy. Because somebody earning 200K monthly will not be marveled by your proposition for people between 20 and 50K. Do you understand me? It's getting very quiet. I have a problem with you. Why quiet?
We are listening.
And we have not even touched the most important part. So we spent, this is exactly the opposite of what happened last week. Because last week we spent a lot of time on money making and spent little time on pitching. But okay. So let's see if we can do these two things very, very quickly. Philip, are we going to have time to do this test?
Yeah,
the Dr. Philip. You think we should?
Because like, you really transforms how we
Okay. So two things that I'm going to share with you, and then I think I'll run out of here. The first one is, okay, so when I was in elementary economics class, we were told about how to make money. Money is revenue, right? Less costs, and that equals profit. How we quiet again?
Yes.
We don't even, yes, now the money, the sales you make, less what you spend, that's your profit margin. So today I want us to focus more, but I'm not an accountant, so I won't tell you about cost. I want us to focus more on revenue, how to make money, right? So that's what we'll talk about very, very quickly. And I found out that in making money, what makes a lot of entrepreneurs, even in creatives, not to make money is knowledge. Okay, so we don't have enough knowledge of how to make money. And you won't like me for these things I'm about to say. I'm one of the proponents, and I've said this in many government fora. Okay, and we've even taken this message to government ministries that the problem with Nigerian entrepreneurs or African entrepreneurs as a whole is not funding. Okay, I know you don't like me saying this one. Unfortunately, I've said it. It's not funding. So the problem with business owners in this room is not funding. Think about it, people. Okay, or at least the major problem isn't funding. The major problem is knowledge before funding. Listen, I can't remember how many years ago now, but the first set of you, in fact, for 4 years, for 4 consecutive years, I was the regional zonal coordinator for North Central for UWIN. I was the last person to sign on the check to approve before they were giving. You remember that grant that time? You don't remember UWIN? The first set of grant was 10 million. You just sit down in your office, somebody will get 10 million. They're not even asking you to pay back. You know what 10 million was a few years ago? And how many $1,000 it was then? Not now, you know. So I discovered that. So the second year came, and then so the first year people didn't believe that it would happen. And then when people heard that they're just dashing through the 10 million every year, the second year came and a lot of people applied. So I now noticed, so we now said, since a lot of people applied, let's take it a notch higher. Let people come and do interview. Because we found out that people were writing business plans for other people. You win is a business plan competition. Okay, if it's approved and you win, you get 10 million naira. And the first year we gave 10 million naira to close to 2,800 people each, you know. And then the next year, so a lot more people. You're shaking your head, it happened. It happened. So the next year, a lot more people came out. We said, okay, so come for interview. Let's actually see you. Let's interview you on this business plan to be sure that you're the one that wrote it. So I saw this gentleman working, and I'm like, I know you somewhere. Okay. I say, I know you. I now remember. I said, I came to your poetry in just now. We gave you a grant of 10 million naira last year. Uncle, what are you doing here? He said, the birds died. The birds died. Uncle, 10 million naira worth of birds died. You are here for another. What if it was a bank loan? You'll be in jail now. Did you know that? You know, so it just started to occur to me that, look, what is happening is if you give an idiot $100 million, he will blow it. There were people who gave money for their factories. They went to buy flashy cars. Okay, so for me, it's always the knowledge before funding. A lot of entrepreneurs don't like it for this, but I think the first issue to deal with is knowledge, and that's why CBN, I'm sure it's part of our recommendation. They now made CBN adjust their and their SME loan policy. You know, right now, before you can get the SME loan, you need to show your certification that you passed through business training. Because it just makes sense. You can't give an idiot money. You spend it anyhow now and come back the next year for more. If somebody 10 million naira, beds, poultry, if the beds died, 10 million naira, come on. So for me, it's knowledge before money. So there are three areas that I've thought about that are most important that we should get knowledge. Okay, and they're called the 3 Ks. Has anybody heard about the 3 Ks? I think you heard about it. Okay, anybody heard about the 3 Ks? People are truthful. I thought somebody would just raise up and I'll just catch. Because there's no 3 Ks. They are my 3 Ks. And I've not published them yet. So if you had told me you heard about 3, I would have suspected you. There's a good thing nobody knows. So the first case is called knowledge of the environment. You would remember, but if you like it, I'll write it down. You would remember. The first case is called knowledge of the environment. For those of you that live in Abuja, you would have found out that there's a way Abuja behaves between the 25th of the month till the 3rd of the next month. You know about it. How does Abuja behave?
The whole environment comes to this.
How? Why?
Because they start seeing that.
Are you serious? It's called Lao Lao Spending. Where I got from Lagos. It's called Lao Lao Spending. So there's a way Abuja behaves. You know, once it's towards the end of the month and then from the 25th. And there's a way that Abuja is behaving right now. Everybody is edgy. If you cross somebody's road now, they will cross your father. They'll behave like Lagos because it's just pre-salary period. You know, though this is the brokest period. Between now and Friday, people are very broke. You know, because the last time that they got paid was almost 30 days ago. Okay, so you need, as entrepreneurs, you need to be observant, right? If you run a restaurant, one of the businesses that I run is a restaurant, and effortlessly, somehow, miraculously, praise the Lord, between 25th of the month, going into the almost first 8 days of the next month, we just chill. People are just coming, bringing their chicks to come and eat. Girl, shawarma, girls, like 6 girls to just appear. Girls, sit down, spend effortlessly. No advert, no nothing. So as entrepreneurs, we need to be sensitive to these things. Okay? Second thing that I want to tell you is, in this, and I'm still talking about the environment, in this part of the world, government remains the largest spender. Okay. In this part of the world, government remains the largest spender. So you have to understand government spending if you are an entrepreneur. Okay. As a matter of fact, you need to be sniffing out to find out where government wants to spend money. That's where your money is. It's the easy way. Listen, we are in a pre-election year, or I call it the actual election year. I call it the actual election year because there will be more activity this year. The election is in March next year, right? There will be more activity this year around the elections than towards the elections between January and March. The sector that will make the most money from an election is the creative sector. Do you guys know? Also, you know. So you know that there's money to be made, right? Between now and end of the year. Why do you think I want to become your friend? Why do you think I want to be your friend? Why do you think I want to be close to you? There's so much money. People are already cashing out in your sector. You know that, right? So my question is, how do you position yourself with the knowledge that this is a pre-election year? Okay, and then what are the products and services you are positioning? You're doing poetry. Shouldn't somebody be speaking to you already? Shouldn't somebody be speaking to her already? It's an election year. All you want to pass is information. That's why I said the creative industry, okay, is the most favored this period. That's the reality. You don't believe me? I'll join your WhatsApp group, but there's a reason I'm saying I want to join your WhatsApp group. Philip knows. Anywhere there's money, that's where I want to be sleeping. I want to be your friend because there's money to be made. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm just being realistic. If you don't make money this period of election, you're a learner. You are not a creative. You are not a true creative. You're not. Yes.
I was going to say, sir, I think this is also part of the message we're trying to drive into creative people. You really need to be an entrepreneur while at it. Because sometimes we're so sold on our passion that even when the opportunity presents itself, okay? So for instance, you might find people in the industry who will say, she is a poet now, or says, I'm so true to my ideal. So if a politician comes and says, do something for me that I can use as part of my campaign. So no, you don't believe in you and things like that. Meanwhile, that man's going to pay your bills. So why we need to walk that line, you know, and you are either a business person who is just a creative, or you are truthfully a creative who has other forms of livelihood and you just do your creative platforms as a hobby. So probably you don't really care, you just want to do a stamp, remain, or like the poets now, you want to just remain relevant, speak once in a while amongst your friends, or you're not interested in making money. But if you truly want to make money, you need to be able to look clearly at those opportunities that present themselves. And I think we really, because this is something we've encountered time and time again. You know? And we are just trying to make everyone do a bit of a reorientation. You are going to make money doing what you do. You really need to tick those boxes properly. Thank you, sir.
I agree totally. You want to say something?
I want to share a personal experience because what is going on right now directly related to the poet and school and
violation
and a whole lot of other stuff. And in 2020, I was working at the government house in Kogi State. I was a sound engineer there. And then from sound engineering, I also started because the cinematographer to the deputy governor of Kogi State is my friend, and we basically stayed together. And from there, we made a few videos for the governor, the deputy governor, the governor's wife's birthday, they performed pieces, and we posted. The deputy governor followed me at that period. What issues they said, one today. So I want to know what I did wrong. Because I was making the ads, what else was I supposed to do?
So, because I also personally know the person you're talking about, I'll tell you what you did wrong. Yeah. You're talking about Edward, right?
Yes, I think being a creative, you have to make sure you kind of remain true to yourself. It's very, very important. Look for the business aspect, but find a way to marry it. Don't go and do spoken work or someone to do it.
and you know who did it, but at least do it for someone like, okay, I see this guy, I believe him, I feel like he can do something. Approach the guy, pitch him, and then say, okay, let me do spoken word for you. I can help you get so value. But don't just wait until anyone who brings any amount of money or just what's not trying. I feel like there's a balance to that. And then you say, this is just like the basic, but you say you make video and put them online and then.
No, online, they got it directly, they're posted. You get to go and follow you.
Understood. But you gave it to them without them paying. Okay. You should have said, I have this and this is what it costs. So I gave it to you.
I didn't have direct access to this in my brother.
Do you know that you need anyone to say this? My photographer should have made because you could have made it. I said, this is what I made for you. This is just a whole video. But this is what it costs you.
And that's what I was okay.
Sorry, before you, I really, it's important to get this clear because I work in this space and I see a lot of creatives. And I see that they're having a lot of challenges with their finances.
Oh yes, oh yes,
oh yes.
I know that.
A lot of them are having to go and day jobs or other things. And this here is one of the major problems. Because in trying to identify what it is of their clients, oftentimes that purist form of creation comes to be. Minshak mentioned it yesterday. You know, when people say, well, purist, this is what we do, or ideologists, and all that's true. You run a restaurant. I'm certain that in business you do as a restaurant, the weight, the height, the color of the people, the religion, and all really doesn't mean much to you. If you want to have a good experience dining, and you have the funds, because it's not everyone that your market is for. You have the funds to, then you need to come to so and so a place, right? So I think it's really important that we get that clear. It's such a problem when creatives are out there and trying to make things, work, and yet they are turning away gigs because they say, hey, that's not my thing. I don't do this. We must walk that fine line. That's what I think.
So my thoughts towards this is.
You were about to say something.
Go ahead.
You said we go in person.
Edward Onoja.
Yes,
I would address it, and I think Philip also knows him as well. So we're all young men. I'm still in touch with him today. And we grew up together. We're all in banking together in the city of Jos. So yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to speak pertaining. Okay. I wanted to say something pertaining what you did. So I actually am this kind of I'm a professional dancer. I've said it before. I run a dance studio. I work with a lot of dance studios. If you notice, my face is not actually there. People like the faces of Okoni, Kafi, and they are my friends. But we don't do the same thing because I know my target audience and I know people I'm going after. I and this brother were having a conversation and I showed him to the general billboard everywhere. There was something I told him, you know my name is there. He didn't believe because he doesn't know me. But my name is not as my name. And I have people to go do this thing and I'm blaming. I want to connect with your story. I've done something for the Ayadero and I was paid. Now what I mean is I've done something for the Ayadero. What I want to say is be professional about what you do. Don't let their political or money name shake you. I've done things for Dangote myself. Just because he's Dangote, I know he has money, so that somebody will tell me, oh guys, if you dance this video and I show Dangote will worry everywhere. I'm just saying, bros, if you don't get money, come off my front. And I'm not scared about you showing Dangote my product like that. Pay me and go and show it. If you pay me 10 million, that's your problem. Can you pay me 500,000 for this thing? I reject offers. Like it's not good to go for me. That's why I'm not everywhere. People, I want to showcase. I want to showcase me money. I'm good at what I do, like 100%, and I learn every day. Like when I know what I'm saying. So when you were confused by the name. I don't know the person. I get access to the good point was the name I will show. That person might have taken the money. You don't even know. And I still come and tell I don't know what just even this 5K we try, but no worry, that's from my pocket and they give you. It's a lie. So if it's not going to pay you, brother, just tell them to forget.
So because of that, let me just one more comment and let me just quickly round up. We still have a few minutes.
Okay, so I wanted to speak on the more theories something about images. So as a creative, nobody is better, right? So from that, I would say if you want to be pure in your art and you want to say, oh, we don't respect what this person says or this person says, as a creative, is an opportunity, right, for you to use your creativity to be able to pass your own message on that platform. Because that was my problem for a long time. Being a theorist, there are a lot of things that turn around because this guy's message is not what I resonate with. But when my eyes were open to that, oh yeah, it is a message, it is a platform. You have been identified as a professional. You are not identified as somebody who does music or produces or whatever. You are identified as because there was a group of people and they need you. So if you want to be pure, then you have to interpret in a way how to connect that person's message with your own field and alignment and then go with that. And I believe that's the difference between being creative and being creative.
Okay, so let me just keep this very, very simple. Listen. If Sapa hits you, your creativity will leave. I'm being truthful to you. I have seen a lot of broke people who are in your sector, and I marvel because that is one sector that I think that you can make money very easy. There are too many broke people in your sector. They don't understand this money-making model. Yes, God has given you raw gifts to be able to showcase, to be able to use to change a lot of things, but you have to make money. Can we be real? Can we be real? Okay, so I agree. As creatives, there are things that you live for, there are things that you go for. Okay, but it doesn't then take your eyes off the money-making model as well. Okay, there's this thing called the tip of the iceberg, and that is the easiest way for a creative to make money. Okay, listen, for what you do, if people have sampled it, it's all over. It loses immediate value. If I take this painting and put in my house for 1 week, it is not as attractive as it is to me now. It has lost value immediately. What I do is similar to what you do. I've heard things like, Dr. Larry, just come and speak to us for 1 hour. At the end of 1 hour, we'll pay you me. At the end of 1 hour, everything I've said doesn't make sense anymore. You do not just talk for 1 hour. Listen, this thing still happened to me last week. So last week, Tuesday, I was called by, I won't mention the name of the NGO. An NGO, one very known. One very popular NGO in Nigeria, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates. They were having a ministerial session. They were launching something along food fortification. So somebody reached out to them and said, look, after all the talk from minister, all those ministerial talks are very boring. All those country director of this one and in the NGO space, very, very boring. Don't you need somebody to come and talk about digitization and food fortification in a different light? So they approached me, they even approached me late, a week before that, and I said, Dr. Larry, would like you to come and do a 20-minute session on digitization and food fortification, but we want you to do it in a different kind of manner because there will be too many people speaking about it from the theoretical. I said, okay, that's fine. I sent my invoice to them. I like money. I sent my invoice $2,000 upfront. They got back to me and they said, we are an NGO. Listen, this is exactly, I can show you the email. We are an NGO and as such, we will not be able to afford to pay you something like that because we are an NGO. But we will be able to take care of your flight ticket and keep you at the Marriott. Is it Marriott I'm looking for? Marriott feed my children, Marriott pay my son's school fees, and keep you at the Marriott and give you not a honorarium. They didn't call it honorarium because what they were asking to do was and just give you something to take care of 100,000. So I just sent them another email saying it will be difficult for me to accept these terms, blah, blah, blah. But you know what I did? I went to their Instagram page. I liked a couple of pictures. I sent a small, short 30-second clip of one of my TEDx talks. I sent it to the woman, just let her just make it taste small. And she sent me another email, Dr. Lang, we still like you to come. Yes, they didn't pay $2,000. They paid well over $1,000. But hey, it was that small tip that I sent, that made her look, we need this person. But what happens to us as creatives is we just open leg and just give them everything free of charge. And for what we do, once they take it, it loses value immediately. I say, listen, if I take this painting that I love so much, if I take it to my house now for 1 week, if it is after 1 week that you are coming to give me bill for this painting, I won't pay more than 50. But if I want this painting, if you tell me 500, I'll price it to 400, I will pay. That's what we do. Do you understand? So by the time we just expose all of what we have, it is not valuable in those people's eyes anymore. Okay, so always learn to give a tip of the iceberg. Okay, so what you would have done differently with Edward. You remember Edward? Edward or not, that GTP. Is the deputy governor. Yeah. What you would have done with Edward was very simple. And he loves hype. Just a tip of the iceberg. He will call for you. And he will tell you to come and do the whole. In fact, you'll be doing this thing regularly. And he will tell you how to. He will pay for it. But for us, we just give all we have. And then they tell us, it's not even desperation, it's the promises they make. Last week. Last week, they were making it from, do you know how many people will be in the room that we know since last week Tuesday till today? Nobody has called me for another speaking engagement. So I could have collected that 100K and that would have been, we live at Abuja, 100K. It's an insult. So that's how it is. So let's move very, very fast. The first K is what? Knowledge of the. Okay. So the same thing. Okay. The war between Ukraine and it's not even war anymore. Russia slapping Ukraine is affecting us. It's not a war now. If it's war, we would have heard that Ukraine threw one Scott missile. It's just Russia. So it's affecting us, okay? So you need to think of how it's affecting what you do and the entire industry and your sector, okay? The second K is knowledge of the customer. This is where I need to talk to you. There's a difference between the customer and the consumer, right? Okay, so who knows what the difference is between the customer and the consumer? Very quickly.
A customer will purchase your product or will purchase your product, but at the end of the month. Okay. But then the consumer is like the final the person that uses it.
Yeah, keep it simple. The customer customs, the consumer consumes. Okay, yeah. You want to say something differently? Okay.
For the customer, someone who buys your brand. And the consumer is someone who has
But I just explained it. I just said the customer customs, the consumer consumes. So for the purposes of this discussion, just take the customer as the person that buys and the consumer as the person that uses. Okay, so if I'm talking about a crèche, who's the customer? The parents. Who's the consumer? Okay, the rule of thumb is simple. Okay, in the short run as creatives, guys, let's focus on the customer. Because we don't want to be broke. Did you hear me? We don't want Sharper to hit us. So you have to focus on the customer. And that's why I came to you and I said, you cannot be going around reciting poems to teenagers. They won't pay you. You should be reciting poems to the parents of those teenagers so that they will pay you. Or if you are going to be reciting poems to the teenagers, their parents have to be in the room. Because you need the money, except you want to tell me you don't need the money. And you don't look like you don't need the money. Okay, so you have to understand who the customer is and who the consumer is. Dr. Larry, is it also possible for the customer to be the consumer? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, but the rule of thumb is in the short run, focus on the customer. In the long run, focus on the consumer. Why am I focusing on the consumer in the long run? Why? I'm very, very fast. Yeah, why am I focusing on the consumer in the long run? Yes. Value. She said the consumer can also start buying value, but even if they don't buy, at least they can influence purchase. Okay, and then the consumer are the ones that will guarantee repeat purchase of your product or service.
The consumer helps you market.
Yeah, because they are using it. Remember, if you remember the story of Indomie noodles, okay, Indomie. The first set of adverts that Indomie did were not targeted at the children. Think about it, if you remember. They were targeted at the people paying, the parents. So everybody you find as heroes in those adverts were grown-ups, like 30, 40, early 40-year-olds, who would have kids in Indomie eating. Although I realize Indomie is everybody's food now, but yeah, exactly. But these days, if you check Indomie adverts, they don't focus on those people anymore. They are now focusing on the people that actually eat them the most. Okay, so a rule of thumb: in the short run, focus on the customer; in the long run, focus on the consumer. Gentlemen and ladies, we are past our time. We are past our time. I noticed. Yes.
So probably we'll do that next. I think
what's the last case?
Okay, we'll talk about the third case. Talk about the third case.
Yeah, reminding us we must have the third case.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about the third case. It's just this test that we are not doing that it's taking me, but I'll just share. No, it's okay. I'll just share something. I'll just tell you the basics of this. I'll just share you.
Yeah, but there are guys online.
There are guys online as well, so we need to be nice. But I'll just tell you the rationale behind it. So anyway, so the first case is knowledge of the environment. The second case, exactly. The third case is the one that I want to spend like 5 minutes to talk about. Okay, and that is knowledge of your business. Okay, so your business is not what it seems. Not every restaurant sells food. Not every restaurant sells food. Not every school sells education. Listen, if you take somebody for fine dining, the person takes the picture of the food first before they eat it. Ladies, am I right? You guys take the picture of food first before you eat it. What that singular act means is that the look of food is more important than the taste of food. That's what it means. So if somebody is going for fine dining, the person is not going to eat. The person is going to see the ambience of somebody. I was sharing this same thing in a training session yesterday with Amcon staff, and a lady told me that we don't go to places that are not selfie worthy. I have not heard that phrase before in my life. Selfie worthy. We don't go to restaurants that are not selfie worthy. Okay, so that means the aesthetics of a food place in highbrow usage or metama is more important than the taste of the food. And remember what I said, one of the businesses that I do is that I own a restaurant. Okay, and there was a time when my restaurant was struggling. I'll go through social media on Sunday and I'll see my friends taking selfies with their families, okay, in other restaurants that were selling at a higher price than me. What happened? And it's very disturbing. So I took some time out and I went on a personal retreat and I started to find out a few things. One of the first things that I found out is there is a way the human mind reacts to restaurant business. Okay, especially fine dining. If your restaurant is not fine, nobody will come. If it's not selfie worthy, they won't come. Number two, if the arrangement of your food is not funky, they will not come. If your food is not sweet, they don't mind. Did you hear me? You agree?
Yes, I have a restaurant.
Good. If your food is not sweet, they don't mind. So long as it's funky. Exactly. So what did we do? I came back from my retreat when I go back into the country. Small space like this, we had 3 air conditioners already. Told my architect friend, put 3 more air conditioners. People will come to wish that. I warn my staff, if anybody puts off any AC, I will kill you. Let people come and be shielded. Let us be known as that chivalry restaurant. Okay, what else did we do? Shiva. What else did we do? We stopped using paper invoices. We bought tabs, very funky. What else did we do? We made our restaurant smaller. You know, when you are passing in front of the restaurant and you see that the whole place is choked, what does it say to you? Their food must be good. That's what it is. That's the only thing. If your restaurant is big and 20 people come and sit down there and there's still several spaces, it's not as funky as if your restaurant is small. Only 6 people sit down, but the whole place looks full. Do you understand? Remember what I told you about the buying process? Where is it? She said the heart is how the human mind processes the so we made it smaller. We removed some seats, made it very cozy. From the road, if you look at it at any point in that, even if there are only 6 people inside, it looks full. You know, and it's good for your restaurant to look full. What it tells people just passing by is that, correct place. Happening place. People are always going there. They are not counting how many people are. That place is always full. Okay, so what else did we do? Unfortunately, some of our waiters had to go. They didn't book the part. Yes, unfortunately. Pardon? They're not fine. Wasn't very fine with that. Unfortunately, I mean, this is business. I want to be real with you. Okay, so we had a chef before that we poached from Sheraton. We're paying him 250,000 naira a year. Imagine, small restaurant, paying chef 250,000 naira a year. I mean, a month. Unfortunately, when by the time we revamped, that chef was no longer a part of the restaurant. He sacked the chef. And down the road, the Immaculate Hotel, we got a cook for 50K. Yeah, because it wasn't about the taste of the food, friend. Why are you feeling sad for the chef? It wasn't about the taste of the food. We just agreed that it's not about the taste of the food. It's the arrangement. We said, the cook to know how to plate. Yes, what's the big deal in plating? They're not just to arrange something. Why pay somebody 250,000 when we can get it? And besides, you know, somebody had to pay for all of the things that we did. Remember, who paid for it? It's the customer that paid for it. Because what did we do? We increased prices. As a matter of fact, we increased prices in some cases with 150% increase. Let me be true to you. Let me be true to you. And this was in 2018, by the way. Let me be true to you. People started coming. I would sit down there quietly. I had one small seat that I kept somewhere where I could be with it. I'll sit down there quietly. I'll see beautiful girls come and take selfies, order food 10K, 15K. It gave me so much joy. Same restaurant, same name, new image, new design. What do you call it? Shivering. So that's how the human mind works. You need to understand what your business is. Let me give one last example before we close. I will tell you. I'm not here to tell I came to teach you how to make money. I didn't come to make money from you. That's not what I plan to take your money. But let me say, okay. So just to say, we're not every school sells education. Okay, when my family relocated to town, I needed to have a school for my kids to go. This is how the discussion between me and principal went. So principal, well done, sir. How are you, sir? Okay, principal, can I see your playground? Principal takes you to the playground. Nice lush grass. Lovely. Principal, can I see your school bus? Takes you to the school bus. Fine bus. Driver was wearing tie. AC was working. Principal, can you take me to your sick bay? Principal takes me to sick bay. Nurse, very fine nurse. Drugs everywhere, everything like that. Principal, do you use blackboard or digital board? Principal said, we stopped using blackboard since 2 years ago. We've been using digital boards, you know. I said, very peaceful. I said, principal, can we just peep into a class? Let me just see what a classroom looks like. Principal takes me to the back door of the class. I peep inside. I see 2 Igbo children. I say, this is the school my children are coming. 2 Igbo children. This is the school. I didn't bother going to any other school. Did you notice that all of the questions that I asked, none had to do with education? Yes. None. And it was all of those things that I based. I didn't go to another school. It was all of those things that did not have to do with education that I based my judgment on. Okay, so your business is not what it seems. If you run a laundry service, the day you start to go and pick clothes, go and wash it and return it, you are no longer running a laundry service. You are now running a logistics company. Same business, different need. The customer of a laundry service is looking for gator. You know what gator is? Yes. And they don't spoil the color. The customer of a logistics company wants you to, if you promise that you are delivering his clothes by 7 p.m., you better be in front of his house by 6:50 p.m. Same business, two different propositions. If you think you're running a laundry and you get a 2 million naira grant, what will you use it on? Small machines or more. If you understand that you're running a logistics company and you get a 2 million naira grant, what will you use it for? More vehicles, more delivery bikes. Did you get this? And there's an easy way to understand, and this is where we close for today. Okay, now I said I'll tell you the logic behind the test, and then you can have it. There's an easy way to understand the business that you do. Right? And I want to put you on the spot now. Okay? There's something called the 5 whys. The five whys. And that is the easiest way to understand the business that you do. So I'm going to ask you just 5 questions. Love at liberty. Love at liberty. Oh, love at liberty. So love at what do you do?
Spoken word poetry.
Pardon?
Spoken word poetry.
Spoken word poetry. Why? Now let me sit down.
To address social issues and entertainment. Why?
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Think through. So I asked you the first time, what do you do? You said poetry and spoken words. Spoken word poetry and music. And I asked you why. So go ahead. Take your time. Take your time.
I love to talk and spoken word poetry. I love to talk and sing, and spoken word poetry is one way to talk with sense and art creativity.
So why do you love to talk and sing?
I love the sound of my voice. I love when people watch me. I love performance.
Why do you love when people watch you? Take your time, no rush.
I honestly feel like that's what I'm called to do.
Why do you love what you're called to do?
I think it's exotic. Like watching people watch you, having their attention is authoritative.
Don't mind these people. Just calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down. Don't mind them. Just calm down. Right. It's just you and I having this conversation. No rush. No rush. Take your time.
Okay, I
love what you said, by the way. The authoritative, the catching their attention. Yes.
I think it's like performing poetry, right? It feels like you are bearing yourself, like you're coming to talk stuff from your inside out, right? And having people watch it and appreciate it, and you never necessarily impact. Okay, like it's really listening to me. I like it. Like I love it. Like someone is I love when my mother listens to me. Like I love when people listen. So
don't mind them. It's you and I having this conversation. Don't mind all of them.
I know when people listen. It's like I love when people are cool. Like I feel wow, I feel loved, I feel seen, and I love to feel seen, right? And that's what poetry does for me. Yeah.
Sure. Final question for you. Why do you love to feel seen?
It makes me feel like I'm having my space in the universe. I can, yeah, it feels like this is where I want to be, this is where I'm meant to be. Yeah, it makes me feel
Why are you listening to him? Talk to him. Just talk to him.
Yeah, being seen, being art makes me feel like I'm taking my place.
I'm going to pause and I'm going to come to him and I'm going to ask him the same 5 questions. So what do you do?
I
love the professional contemporary dancer. So that's why we speak. Why are you a professional contemporary dancer?
Because I love to bring happiness to people listening what I do.
Listen to what he said. Because I love to bring happiness to people doing what I do. Why do you love to bring happiness to people?
Because it takes them away from their sorrowful or bad moments. Wow.
Why do you want to take people away from their sorrowful moments?
Because it brings, one is because when I do that, it gives me more money. It gives me money. And again, they tell me they bring their children to train them so they can also see their children do what I do to see.
No, you didn't answer my question. I said, why do you want to take people out of their sorrow?
Because depression kills faster.
So we know that. That's not why you want to. You said? It makes you happy too. Why do you want to be happy? Or why does it make you happy?
To see people enjoy what I'm not sure.
So this thing is echoing in my.
Who is it? Sorry.
Go ahead.
To me, see whatever knowledge I have, go out there and make people see and that's how I say it.
You are saying the same thing. So I put it to you that what you do is not actually dancing. That dancing is a means to an end. Dancing is just a vessel for you to do what you want to do. So there are other things that you can do to make people happy. And you can have complement of those things. Okay. And it's the same thing with you. Okay, what you do is not actually poetry. What you do is that you want to connect to people. Okay, so it's not actually poetry, spoken words, and music alone. Okay, so if we sit in our cocoon and we just think, I'm a fashion designer, all I do is design clothes and sew clothes. If you ask yourself, and I wish we could do this a bit more, but we don't have time at all. If you ask yourself, and you can do this on your own, just ask yourself those 5 whys. By the time you're asking the 5 whys, you would actually be able to connect the last why with the first one, and you have a better understanding that what you thought you were doing is the end. Okay, the actual thing you're doing is the means to the end. Or rather, sorry, the other way around. What you thought you were doing is the means. Okay, but the final why is actually the end. That's what you want to achieve. Okay, is it a good place to stop? We can't do the test, I'll be true tonight. We don't have enough time. But let me just share 2 things. Let me just share one thing as I did. One thing, just one thing. Okay. So in life, I know you've heard statements like just be yourself, everybody accept you, don't care about what people think about you, blah 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 blah. Listen, friends. I'm your friend now because you people will make money. Listen. You must, you are creative. You must care about how people see you. Let me shock you a bit more. Can I take 5 minutes to close this down?
Just apologize for online people.
Online people, I apologize, but I think this will benefit you, especially creatives. Listen, don't follow no rules. Don't listen to, don't read those funny books. How people see you is not important. Just you, Donald Trump became president of America. Listen to me and look at me. How people see you is more important than who you are. I repeat, you can quote me, you can tweet it, you can, how people see you. Yes, yes. You can tag me, my Twitter handle is at ELPEE underscore. ELPEE underscore. How people see you. Yeah. How people see you is more important than who you are. So, Dr. Larry, this thing you said, you have just confused us again. Now listen to me and watch me very closely. Just watch me, listen. It was Aristotle that said, man, know yourself, right? And that's because he knows that you don't know you. I'm just going to move very fast now. If you ask me, Dr. Larry, can you kill? I'll tell you, me. I asked him it now. He knows me very well. I cannot kill. Me, hurt somebody, I can't kill, lie. If you change the narrative, God forbid, like we said this time before, and you ask me, Dr. Larry, if somebody raped your daughter, can you kill? Listen, me. I kill the person. I will kill his mother. I will kill his father. I will find out his village, carry submachine gun, kill everybody in there. Do you understand? Same person. So you don't know you. You don't know you because you have not been under certain types of pressure that will change who you thought you were. So if I ask you, can you do certain things? Think about it differently from today because you don't know the things you can do and the things you don't do. Okay, you are only answering that question based on your present circumstance, which might change. So do you agree with me that you don't know you? You agree. Does everybody agree before we make progress? Good. Online, you don't know you. So if you don't know you, it then follows, and I want you to just follow me on this journey. This is where I'm going to stop today. Nobody's going. I'm not even going to take any questions. I'm just going to finish this and run. If you don't know you, just follow me scientifically. Let's think. If you don't know you, what it means is that people's perception of you is the reality. Think about it. People's perception of you is the reality. I have made contact with every single person in this room today. So I have a perception of every single person in this room. Could it be real? I don't care. Or how I have seen you is how I will treat you if I see you at the airport of Friday. It's my perception of you. It's the reality. So I don't know you, and even you don't know you. So don't be mistaken. People's perception of you is the reality. So you need to care about how people see you. More importantly, because you are in the creative. So did we get that? If we didn't get it, let me share this hilarious story why I did my video. So because this is what I do a lot of travel. Okay. And so I went to Kano, went to train FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service, staff of Federal Inland Revenue Service in Kano. And Kano is not one of the favorite places I love to go to. So when I get to Kano, I just stay in my hotel. After the next day, I'm out. So I was going to Lagos the next day, you know. And so it was a Champions League night. After my class, I went to the room, I rested a bit. I watched Champions League. And then after Champions League, I have a problem with strange beds. I don't do well with sleep. I battle with sleep. So even if I'm on the bed and it's not my own, it's a lot. The battle is more fierce. So I couldn't sleep. So fortunately, the hotel had a bar. I got up and I went to the bar. And you know how you enter a bar and you find just two people there and you just shake hands, guys. You know, you just I'm Larry, I'm this and this. You know. You don't talk about what you do. And we talk about the match the whole night. I left that bar at 1:17 a.m. I remember the time I left that bar because I looked at it and I said, now you have an 8:30 flight the next day to Lagos. It's time to go and struggle and get some sleep. So I left the bar at 1:17 a.m. I left the two gentlemen at the bar. Then we shook hands and left. So ever since I was a child, anytime I enter a plane, just being inquisitive, I always look into the cockpit, you know, just let me at least see the person driving. I mean, if you enter taxi, won't you see the driver? Same thing. And My son studies aerospace engineering. So I know about flights. I know about turbulence. I'm not one of those people that will be scared inside plane. I actually know the safest place to sit in a plane. You know, we vibe regularly, so I understand this aerodynamics, everything. I understand when the cloud is hot, the plane will go through turbulence. It does it. I understand the fact that if your plane doesn't crash within the first 30 seconds of takeoff, it's not likely to crash. You know, we vibe about all those things. But friends, as I entered into that plane, and I looked to my left, I paused for a minute. The two people that I left at the bar, the two drunkards. Because that's what my brain told me immediately. It wasn't just the pilot, it was the pilot. So this was death. I was going to die. It was just but I left them at 117. I don't know when they left there. Maybe it's from the bar they went into the plane. I don't know. I left them there at 117. They could have stayed there to 7:30. Drunk as bastards. They wanted to kill me. And then they went to go and handle plane, not car. Plane. Were they drinking that much? And we were drinking. It wasn't, I don't know what to mean by that much, but it wasn't water we were drinking. Even if they were not drinking that much. I
understand those, but they still have the same issue.
So, but you that know you are going to drive plane to Lagos the next day. Let's have the conversation. Yes. Me, that a passenger. I'm not the one driving the plane. Passenger. At 172, at 117, I called myself to order. I said, "Landry, respect yourself. Go and crash." Passenger, the person they're driving. The driver is at 117. The day bye-bye had not left. And it just reminded me that I met them there. Until
I was actually going to also say that if you are normal and you were going to enter a party and you saw someone just stagger from the next bar and it's big to Lagos, you
can't take it to Babala. Can't take it.
And I think what this message is because let's not lose part of it.
I'm not even done with the message.
This message here is, or what we're talking about before we got here, it's about
perception is reality. Yeah.
It's perception.
Yeah.
You see, there are people who tell us, I don't believe that, but there are people who tell us they can't get drunk anymore. They are down to bottles of whatever alcohol, Hennessy, gin, whatever, and get up to do as well. But the reality is, you can only subject the human body to what is. Absolutely. You understand? And perception. If a man will take you from there to Lagos by road, and he staggers out of the bar, whether when he sits on the driver's seat, he starts speaking Queen's English and the next 15, 13 hours on that road will be based on his habit, and he's already in there. Absolutely. So what are you saying? And here we're talking about flying.
So let me round this up because we're spending a lot of time. So, and thank you for dragging me because I can see that Philip actually told me to squeeze everything out, and that's exactly what you did by. So let me tell you the end of this story. So, of course, as we took off, it's a tea of coffee. Don't give me tea. Don't give me coffee. Water, no water. What's in the mood? You know, in my mind, I was looking at the fire. I said, all of us are dying. I sent a text to my wife. I love you, my children. I love her. I sent my account details to my wife. My account. Listen, this one was not, I thought maybe, I was like, we are dying. This is sure. I confessed my sins to God. I begged God, I said, if you save me this last time, upright like this, somehow we landed in Lagos, So as I was going out, they saw me, so I wasn't happy with them. They saw me, and then I went, and then they told me, and we just said hello, blah, 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 blah. Coincidentally, they were staying in the same hotel that I was staying, the hotel. And yes, in Lagos, I wasn't flying back the next day, so they like that, they can drink it, So I was sat down and I started to share my experience with them that, when I started playing and I saw that it was you, they drew, and I've forgotten the other guy's name. We're still friends, we still chat once in a while. Then when I saw it was you, that's the longest 1 hour, 20 minutes flight I've done in my life with that. So they were laughing and they made one statement I will never forget. He said, Larry, if you were going to be 30,000 feet above sea level every other day of your life, don't you think there's something that should be gingering you? That's the statement that I made. And I've lived with that statement since that day. So my perception, did you notice that I even changed? Initially, when I got into it, I called them drunk gentlemen. When I saw them handling plane, I said drunkards. So perception is reality. If a pregnant woman gets to the nicest hospital in Abuja is Turkish, right? If a pregnant woman gets into Turkish hospital, they wants to give birth. That's the best hospital. They tell you one doctor, Akonde, is the best graduating doctor from MIT or Harvard. Do you understand? And they wheel the woman to Dr. Akonde just to see you before going into the theater. And the woman sits in front of Dr. Akonde and sees behind Dr. Akonde NYSC certificate. Dr. O. Akonde completed NYSC October 2021. Do you think that woman will say, okay, wheel me into the surgery? But that's the best doctor from the best hospital. Do you understand? So in life, perception is reality. How people see you, friends, is more important than who you are. And by extension, I made another statement. You don't even know who you are. On this note, I want to thank you very, very, very much. And if we need to communicate, I already told you my Twitter handle. My Instagram handle is at Dr. Larry Phillips. Doctor is DR. So GR, Larry is LANRE. Phillips is PHILLIPS. Okay, if you send me a message, I'll just say from Kavik, I will respond back. I'll remember crossword. If I don't remember anybody else, I'll remember. Yes, yes, you can put it in the chat. So guys, thank you so very much. Okay? Please give it up for me.
So online guys, we're just going to say thank you for closing this session. It was great having you. We'll continue the conversation on the WhatsApp. Or in the WhatsApp group. So thank you for joining. Sorry for taking your time a bit longer than we should have. Well, I believe it was worthwhile. We'll share Dr. Phillips' details and we can have access to them in the group. So thank you all for coming. Have a great day. Okay, so